Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to my Project 281 final for our creative use case. So, first, I want to talk about a little bit about the audience for my final project. I have chosen public library and particularly patrons, either with disabilities or patrons who have trouble, for whatever reason it may be, creating non-traditional art. That is the need or problem. And the type of idea or technology I'm looking to showcase today is generative AI. Particularly, we'll be working with stable diffusion models and a user web or a graphical web-based user interface called Automatic 1111. That's just a fancy word to basically mean it's in a browser. So, in terms of how I arrived at this process, we talk about our different forms of convergent thinking. What the problem is, how are we going to solve the problem, decision making, how make a decision about how we're going to move forward, and at that point, we need to start evaluating once we use the or once we put our problem solving into motion. Uh, Divergent thinking is really about creativity, innovation. Uh, I'd say brainstorming, what kind of like what our class readings and articles have alluded to. Really, the second part of this process in terms of generating art is all about divergent thinking. It's a wonderful example of it, and we'll get into because it's it's such an iterative process and iterative sorry, prompt crafting is such an important part of generative AI, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. Uh, and really, just from our classes approaching it from a design thinking process. We empathize, try to understand problems and gain insights into needs. Uh, we define really what the problem is, and once we make a decision and we move towards it, and kind of a combination of convergent and design thinking. We evaluate results, and it's uh, it's a problem that you know may not necessarily occur at first, but once you identify that problem, using technology to solve it is really just a pretty wonderful thing. Uh, so the strategy, vision, expected impact is, to provide not only technological literacy, but entertainment and form of expression for library patrons with disabilities using this generative AI technology. What is the mantra of what you're trying to accomplish for the technology user? The mantra is definitely technological literacy, and that generative AI and these new AI technologies can really help and do a lot of good. Uh, in terms of a story or example of how I would expect my idea to work as a public librarian, I have in the past done computer programs. Done computer building, computer teardown programs. I've done all kinds of wonderful programs in the library space. Generative AI programming is something I would love to get done. That's definitely on my future goals in terms of programs I was due. And if I could have someone come out and quote and say, I was able to make art at the library using AI, uh, when they previously couldn't or had trouble making art before, it would be fantastic. It would really be something. So, getting into the process itself, first and foremost, we let me share my screen here. Give me one moment. Let's Okay. So first off, you'll see here we have our File Explorer, and in it we have our Stable Diffusion Web UI. Okay. So click on that, and we're going to scroll down to our web user Windows batch file. That a click, and I don't know if you guys will see this, but you're basically getting a command prompt window, and that's automatically launching updates and auto launching our web user interface. So there we go. It's gone up, and I think I have to share that as well. One moment. Let's make sure we're sharing our screen. And you here, just to give you a look, you can see this is the command prompt user window that runs. And then we have our share. We're going to bring up our stable diffusion window. So here we can see what stable diffusion looks like. And so the first thing I want to point out is up here we have our models. So, and I said I would be using, I don't know if I said I'd be using Stable Diffusion SDXL. You can see here SDXL with the beta safe sensors. That is the newest model. But for today, we're going to be using this model, Colorful Region 31. This basically means that, if you have a car and the car is the wizard, you and the car is the web-based interface, it's what you interact with. The model is the engine of the car, and the engine that we're putting in the car is going to be trained to do what we want it to do and to perform how we want it to perform. So it's going to be putting out colorful images, which is going to uh, be satisfactory for us today. So we'll be doing text to image, meaning we'll be entering a prompt and a negative prompt and generating an image. So first thing I want to do is I want to put on high res fix so that it we have enough basically resized so we can get larger images without them being all muddled up. Uh, I have a very good computer with very good hardware. So what I'm going to do is turn up the sampling steps, which means how many times it goes over. Our denoising strength, we're going to leave the same because what it actually does is it puts images on top of each other and then pulls images away until it gets a new image. That's kind of what we're doing here. Upscaler, we are going to put on this one here. I've had very good results with it. Okay, our kind of size and our set is our size is kind of set before. We have our batch count. I'm going to have it do 3 images. And I have our batch size. Now your CFG scale, that relates to how closely it's going to listen to you. And if the higher you'll turn it up, the more it'll listen to your prompt exactly, but you don't let the AI do its work. You usually want to keep that at a pretty low number. Okay, so now part of our divergent thinking is our iterative prompt crafting. So what do we want? I think for today I've picked out we want to make expressive art and we want to have Monet and Van Gogh, but a cosmic space setting. Uh, uh, for someone who maybe can't canvas paint. So I'm gonna type in Van Gogh and Monet space, and we are going to click generate. See what our results are, and you can see here, it does take some time to generate, but oh, would you look at that? We're already getting something that comes up with our prompts. As you can see it generating, it's actually putting Van Gogh into the image. But it does look like we have some kind of space and some kind of interesting things. We don't know what's going on around the frame. We're not sure, but we're going to let it kind of do its thing and we'll see what our results are in a second. It's important to watch this process just so you can see, what effects your prompt may be having. But for right now, we only have 3 words, so it's only got 3 words to go off. So as we let it generate more AI, you can kind of have discussions with your patrons at this point. You can kind of talk about the things that are appearing. What do you see? What do you feel? What changes do you think you need to be made? This is a terrific time to start brainstorming. But the next part is we're testing now. Now we are evaluate our results. So if we look at our images, not bad. It looks like kind of a Van Gogh in space, and I see the Earth and the rest of it. But let's see if we can do better. So in terms of negative prompt crafting, this we're gonna try because we had an image of Van Gogh himself. We're going to say no people. We're going to say no frame. We're going to say no background, no foreground. Because I want just an image of a painting. We're going to say low resolution because we only want high resolution images. When we're going to include uh, uh, something along the lines of uh, in terms of cartoon because we don't want a cartoon. So, and go Monet space. Next, we're going to put in painting, and then we'll try brush strokes. Okay. Next, we're gonna go beautiful, or maybe cosmic, vibrant, beautiful. Excuse my spelling. And these are kind of you can go through this kind of divergent process of divergent thinking and really get the group going and see what kind of things come up. And next, we're going to do photo realistic and see what comes up for that. Okay. So now that we've tried it, we have 70 sampling steps. I'm going to turn the batch count size down to 2, and we're going to try it one more time and see what we get. Oh, it looks like we're getting something that's more just straight image than anything else. That's pretty cool. I do like that process. While this generates, we're just going to leave it for a moment. Oh, wow. So, yep, this is a great time to once again discuss with your patrons what they're seeing and the kind of art they want to express and the kind of changes that they want to make to it. And let's see what images it leaves us with. And there we go. What we end up with is a type of cosmic Van Gogh vibrant painting. Here we can see the iteration, the prompting of brush strokes. There we are. That gives us a kind of cosmic Van Gogh image. And so we have used AI to generate a type of art that is expressive, that is was interesting to our needs. And if we want to change it instead of space, we can put ocean. And instead of cosmic, we'll put deep sea. And we'll put trench or you know what? Coral reef and fish and uh sunlight. And let's see what we get instead of that. Uh and actually we're gonna put sharks, because I don't want sharks. Okay, everything's set. And we'll click generate. And we'll see what it generates us now. Well, I definitely see coral reefs in the image. And basically, what it's doing, what the AI is doing right now, is it takes all the images it's trained on, it's stacked. They're all stacked on top of each other, essentially. And the AI is pulling images pieces away and pieces away until it forms a new image that most closely resembles the images that it's trained on. And so it's that's called denoising, and that's what our denoising sampler here is for. Very interesting process. And there we are. We have made a new type of art for oceans and Van Gogh. That's actually a very beautiful image. Here we can see both of them side by side. And there we go. We didn't quite have our coral reef in it. Actually, we're going to do one more quick image. We won't generate two. But we're going to go deep sea, underwater uh, animals. And we'll see what we get. Oh, and it looks like it's generated something underwater, hopefully, for us. And here we can see if it's not what we want, we can always change our prompts, craft our prompts, change what we need, and there we are, kind of an underwater deep sea. So that has been uh, my final project for Info 281, uh, or my creative use case project. I believe I addressed all the questions. But mainly our target goal is once again to create art and to allow users to create art and create images and express themselves and to gain this kind of technological literacy and understanding of AI and kind of bridge that digital divide while also serving a need and a use case that doesn't get enough attention. I know it certainly doesn't in my public library. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a terrific day. Uh, Goodbye.